नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार। मेरा नाम है राजीव कुमार बजाज यानी आरकेबी और मैं हूं इस वक्त एडवोकेट प्रदीप नाम्बियार जी के साथ। प्रदीप जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार
जी। और आप सबको जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र, जय भवानी, जय शिवाजी। और प्रदीप जी और मैं इस वक्त है नेशन नाउ पर। नेशन नाउ है हमेशा आपके साथ और हमेशा आपके साथ ही रहेगा। प्लीज डू कीप सेंडिंग इन योर कमेंट्स। सम ऑफ योर कमेंट्स आर वेरी वेरी कलरफुल, somewhat abusive, but I don't mind. You can send as many abuses as you want. There's no problem at all.
You are total. You
It's
vote
all-
for freedom of speech, expression, faith, worship, and belief.
Yeah, sure, but don't. It's
And
not like
letter and
Canada.
spirit.
It's not like the Canadians. You can't pick up a gun and say, okay, fine, we're going to kill all these guys. Don't do that, please, because that we will not be able to read out. We not being in Canada, we can't really do that. And only Mr. Justin Trudeau can justify killing of other people as freedom of expression. God knows what expression.
He
and
draws
whose
a
expression.
line between terrorism and freedom of speech.
And I wonder if Deepak Vora was right. He said that Trudeau was high. He said that Trudeau was high on some new synthetic drug that he had just snorted before he came over here, for the G20 summit. Because the plane, his plane, was miraculously repaired even as it was standing on the runway. Which is, I would love to know that story, and I would love to ask Deepak where he got it from. Of course, everybody is denying it. Everybody says that, hey, Deepak Vora is wrong. But Deepak Vora is a very senior diplomat. I don't think he would make such a thing. I get rid of that guy. All right, he's very irritating. I don't want him on screen. Please, no, Mr. Trudeau. We've had enough.
We don't want you. No, Mr. Trudeau.
I tell you what, at the moment we have one of the most brilliant comedians, one of the most brilliant comics, one of the most brilliant writers, and possibly one of the most brilliant actors and television hosts, Mr. Suresh Menon, right here with us. Mr. Menon, very good evening.
Good evening, sir. Such a pleasure to be here.
Good evening. My name is Rajiv K. Bajaj, otherwise known as RKB. I used to be RKB without a beard. Now I'm just Rajiv K. Bajaj. Along with me, of course, is the amazing advocate Pradeep Nambiar ji. Menon साहब, यार अब मैं आपके दो तीन वो क्या है वो पुराने प्रोग्राम वगैरह देख रहा था। क्या करते हो यार ये जबरदस्त, absolutely brilliant stuff. I tell you what, the film industry per se, especially the people you work with, really. I know you're also creative head of MX Player, but the people you work with have monumental egos. They, like Karan Johar, for example, his ego is bigger than the Qutub Minar. He never forgives. और आपने क्या यार मतलब you've done something to him that nobody's ever dared to do. Were there any repercussions? Were there anything you had to handle, or did he take it sportingly?
No, there used to be a lot of chat going on behind that, one should not do this because people don't have a sense of humor. तो बहुत लोगों ने रोकने की कोशिश की, बोलना तो पड़ेगा ही, और लेकिन after some time it became quite obvious कि ये रोकेंगे नहीं क्योंकि it was entertainment its best form and अपने आप ही बंद हो गए सारे कंट्रोवर्सीज जो थे उस वक्त। हाँ, लेकिन दो तीन ऐसे सटल हिंट्स मिले थे कि भाई थोड़ा कम कीजिए, हमेशा मत कीजिए। तो मैंने ठीक है भाई, वो बात मैं मानता हूँ। And then sort of I just jumped out from there and started doing a lot of films which were different roles, and thankfully I got to act with my childhood favorite and even acting today everybody's favorite, Mr. Mohanlal, in a Malayalam film Brahmaram.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. You acted with Mohanlal? Wow.
Yes,
amazing.
So it changed my whole perception of the acting career that I am still pursuing. I have not given it up, but that changed my whole perception, and thankfully I'm still around. So being a character artist, comedian, it's very difficult to sustain it for a long time.
You are still around, in spite of having taken the panties off Karan Johar, and I deliberately say panties. You're still around because usually people disappear when they attack Mr. Karan Johar and that particular camp, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. Good for you. You are a remarkable man. And before Pradeep ji comes in, I really would like to ask you: do you have any favorite comics of your own in India, Hindustan में जो comedy होती है? आप do you have anybody who's your favorite? कोई अच्छा है, कोई बढ़िया बंदा है?
Oh yeah, of course. बचपन से हम महमूद साहब को देखते हुए आ रहे, और जितने सारे उन्होंने
फेवरेट फिल्म, महमूद फेवरेट फिल्म बताइए।
Padosan any day.
अरे क्या बात है साहब.
And those untalked about films, it was called Jor Mahmood in Goa, Jor Mahmood
अरे
in
क्या
Hong
बात.
Kong.
Untalked about. जोर महमूद in Goa, जोर महमूद in Hong
All the
Kong.
hits.
अरे बाबा क्या फिल्म है.
क्या
अरे
फिल्म है.
ससुरे ने भेजा है. ससुरे ने भेजा है लोहे का हाथी. क्या बात कर रहे हो सर. व्हाट अ लवली फिल्म. ससुरे का प्यार देखो भेजे हैं गहने.
दुनिया मौज में था, मैं फौज में.
ब्यूटीफुल. तो अभी के जो स्टैंड अप कॉमिक्स हैं, आई नोटिस यू डोंट मेंशन देम. व्हाई?
Today's stand-up comedians, for example, Hindi speaking, I think we are it was rather unfortunate to have lost Raju Srivastav last year.
Yes.
He was one of the best at whole genre of stand-ups that came out with Raju Srivastav ji, Sunil Pal ji, Ehsan Qureshi. वो एक अलग सा दौर शुरू हुआ था. उसके बाद the English stand-up comedians started taking center stage, but till date, I don't think they have managed to reach or achieve that sort of laughter that these boys managed
And
to.
Pradeep, I'm really sorry. I need to ask one more question. This is very important for me. I hope you don't mind. सुरेश मेनन साहब, क्या है कि जो आपने राजू श्रीवास्तव साहब की बात करी, राजू श्रीवास्तव was one guy who could turn any object into an object of comedy. जैसे कि लोकल ट्रेन का पंखा, गाय जो बिल्कुल सड़क के बीच में बैठी हुई है, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. सुनील पाल साहब की अलग से तरीका हो, नूरा एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ, एंड ऐसा, एंड कुरैशी साहब. Now these guys, they came up with a kind of comedy which was incisive, which was beautiful, which it had a bit of a bite, but it was not obscene. आज की तारीख में ये क्या है कि each time कोई भी कॉमिक आता है, कहीं पर भी आता है, उसको मतलब सेक्स वाले जोक्स क्यों उसको सुनाने पड़ते हैं आज की तारीख में टू गेट अ लाफ आउट ऑफ पीपल. वो जरा बताएं, ये क्या है यार, ये क्या मिस्ट्री है, मतलब मेरी समझ के बाहर है.
आई फील कि सेक्स के बारे में जोक्स मारने से वो डबल मीनिंग जोक्स जो लोग सोच रहे हैं, वो तो किसी के काबिलियत में नहीं है वैसे जोक्स मारना विदाउट रफलिंग एनी फेदर्स. तो मैंने देखा कि काफी लोग ये इस टाइप के जोक्स मारते हैं, लेकिन वी हैव गॉट ग्रेट एग्जांपल्स ऑफ दादा कोंडके जी, who has got a Guinness Book of World Record where he made 9 films which are completed the double entendre, but they really did well and really funny films. These boys then afterwards they shifted to sort of targeting our present government and thought that is stand-up comedy, but no, I'm sorry.
Suresh Menon sahab, double entendre is acceptable. It is lovely.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of thought. यहाँ पे double entendre कहाँ होता है साहब? यहाँ तो मतलब you are talking about sexual parts and things like that on stage. ये क्या है?
They should have been doctors.
Yes, they should have been.
Mr. Menon,
they should have been sex doctors or something like that. Ji,
you have been always, as you started the program, you are always calling a spade a spade. You always said that don't take the audience for granted. That's what you said. Good content doesn't require this kind of publicity, and I'm talking about the fake Twitter war that you talked about, the fake Twitter war between Anil Kapoor and Anurag Kashyap. You still believe that good content doesn't require this kind of publicity?
Absolutely. If you see South Indian films, especially not because I belong to Kerala, but I'm a Mumbai boy, I'm a Maharashtrian by heart. But if you see those films that come down from South, even from Karnataka, if you see a lot of these films which are doing well, they are not going into this rubbish publicity of making two of your main frontline actors, directors fight or something like that and make it into a controversy to film को गरम कर रहे हैं. इससे कुछ नहीं होता. Public will catch you out, and sadly that film was so good. Like I messaged Anil Kapoor on Twitter saying that you didn't need to have all that. I mean, come on, he's a senior artist, and with that, you don't want to see anybody throwing water on him. And just for the heck of it, for publicity of a film, people are saying, "Oh, that was a great marketing idea." No, sorry, please, that's not the way to do it. If you got great content, and that film was really good, I really enjoyed, and Anil Kapoor was brilliant in that. But you don't need to publicize a film in that manner. If your content is good, You'll rarely need to do this, because then you're just going on publicity, which is a normal marketing strategy of hoardings, of talking to people, interviews with the actors. You don't need to be hitting each other or throwing water. God knows tomorrow what they'll start throwing. They're anyway throwing a lot of muck on each other for a long
So
time.
every film has its own controversies, and you build controversies. I was saying you don't need that.
Absolutely no necessity.
And you said you loved acting with Mohanlal. He's an institution by himself. He's an institution by himself. Mohanlal, Mammootty, that era itself was fantastic. Both were too good for whatever they did. How do you see the new stars come into the horizon? They also seem to be all very, very professional. How do you see them, the new stars in the horizon?
Oh, absolutely wonderful. The talent that South is producing, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, almost all the languages covered over. Tulu is also picking up where filmmaking is concerned. And it's amazing to see the sort of crop of new actors who come with absolutely no baggages, great stories, great directors. They know the audiences well. And that's why they were a big success. And thanks to strangely COVID, because of OTT platforms, the whole nation started seeing a lot of South Indian actors, and they realized that there is more to the skill, acting skills, than what they were shown before. So everyone have pulled up their socks. Of course, Hindi has got some brilliant actors, Pankaj Tripathi ji, Nawazuddin Siddiqui. All these guys have come up, and they are being appreciated across the country. And thankfully, actors are going to stay. Stars will always remain, there's no doubt. But actors are going to stay, and they'll have a longer run this time.
But now you've got actors who don't look like stars. I mean,
Yes, yes.
they are stars in their own right. Like for example, you look at a guy like Nawazuddin Siddiqui. I mean, 20 साल या 25 साल पहले, could you have imagined that Nawazuddin Siddiqui would be a hero in a film? The film would be based on him. I mean, अगर नवाजुद्दीन सिद्दीकी को एक्स्ट्रा का रोल मिल जाता बहुत बड़ी बात होती उस जमाने में. लेकिन आज की तारीख में देखिए, look at the talent of the man, he is brilliant. और जो पंकज त्रिपाठी जी जिनकी आपने बात करी, माशाल्लाह क्या जबरदस्त. और जो प्रदीप जी ने अभी नाम लिया, मामूटी और मोहनलाल, और आज की तारीख में भी जो साउथ के नए नए एक्टर्स और नई नई एक्ट्रेसेस जो आई हैं, they are brilliant. Look at the kind of homework they do. Look at the kind of content that there is. So when will Hindi films start getting that kind of content again? एक जमाने में था, अभी दोबारा थोड़ा सा मुझे लग रहा है. I may be wrong. I may be completely wrong. Okay, I am not a film buff per se. I love films. थोड़ा सा आपको लगता नहीं थोड़ा डिरेलमेंट हुआ है? हर एक कोई बहुत बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट बना रहा है, 20 किलो का हाथ और ये और वो और वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. तो आपको लगता नहीं कुछ कि समथिंग न्यू हैज टू कम अप? व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
बिल्कुल 2.5 किलो का हाथ चल गया, तो
अब तो 5 किलो 20 किलो का हो गया सर, क्या बात कर रहे हो?
20 किलो का हो गया. नहीं, I feel it's a
He's a
good
very
run.
good friend. All right, he's a very good friend.
Yes,
Let me tell you
it's a
very
good
frankly.
run. And people have started going back to the theaters because of
Gee.
films like this. As I told you, we need Shah Rukh Khan's, we need Salman Khan's, we need Sunny Deol's films to be hit, because overall the majority of the country, when they go to theaters, they spend that kind of money today. They go with their aspirations. They want to see their dream life come in true in front of them. Even for that momentarily 3 hours, if they're entertained, where it's fights, it's a beautiful dance, it's a beautiful song, and that's all they need. Unfortunately, storytelling of a different kind with all our brilliant actors is slightly a hard sell for theaters to start pulling in the masses into the theaters. They have to find out a way whereby they start reducing the prices of tickets when there is not a mega star in the film, so that people are encouraged to go to the theater and give them a separate sort of experience.
Now, which
Otherwise,
is your
it won't be
favorite
a
film?
push.
Which is your favorite Hindi film from the recent past? Hindi
Oh,
picture.
sorry, I'm a diehard Shah Rukh fan, so
So is
love
everybody
Pathaan.
else.
I
हम सब
loved
हैं साहब. जी बताएं.
I loved Pathaan. I loved Jawan. Gadar abhi dekhna baki hai. But if I had a chance, I would go to Kerala and watch this new film called RDX, which has done very well in theaters, made at a budget of 8 crores, went on to cross 100 crores.
And your opinion about the Kashmir Files?
It's a film, and I had a little bit of an issue with it, in the sense I felt there was more that could have been said, which was not said. I think films like this should be made, because after all, why should we shy away from what's happened in our
जी
country?
दुरुस्त बात.
When people across the globe are making films which suit them, a film is a film. So whatever rules are uh, uh, applicable by today's woken up people is also applicable to all the films. So
अरे भाई
filmmaking.
देखिए सुरेश मेनन साहब, अगर आप जूइश हॉलोकॉस्ट के ऊपर जो नाजियों ने
बिल्कुल
मतलब 50 लाख के करीब यहूदियों को जान से मार दिया, उसके ऊपर ना जाने कितनी फिल्म्स बनी हैं,
अभी
ठीक है
तक
सर?
बन रही है.
और अभी तक बन रही हैं, आज तक बन रही हैं. आप देखिए ना, द रीडर बनी, शिंडलर्स लिस्ट बनी, और न जाने और कितनी फिल्में बनी, द बॉय इन द स्ट्राइप पजामास बनी, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. तो कश्मीर के ऊपर भी कोई ऐसी फिल्म बननी चाहिए. तो चलो चलो शुरुआत तो हुई है विनोद.
Now there's Razakars, for example. Razakars आ गए. Now they say it is political है, तेलंगाना में elections है, तो Razakar picture बीजेपी sponsored है, बीजेपी के highlight करने वाली है.
Well, लेकिन
Now,
प्रदीप जी,
do you think it is
प्रदीप जी, that
politically
story needs to be
motivated?
told.
Politically motivated in the sense.
That is, I think it's the elections, when they come closer, all this type of loose talks keep on happening, and I don't think any government has got the time or the bandwidth to be producing films. I'm sorry to all those people who are saying that government is busy producing films. That doesn't happen. We know that. It's a story. Is a story. Somebody wants to tell a story in his own way. You may be right wing, left wing, or any wing, or you may have no wings. But if you have a story to say, please tell it.
सुरेश मेनन साहब, एक सवाल आपसे पूछता हूँ, एक सवाल आपसे पूछता हूँ, stepping from what Pradeep ji just asked you. And by the way, Mr. Nambiar originally, Advocate Nambiar originally is from Kerala. Of course, he himself has been born over here in Mumbai, and so have, 3 generations removed. They're all here. Now, sir, whenever we ask anybody from the Congress कि यार ये hate politics की जो आप बात करते हो, उसका solution क्या है, उसका जवाब क्या है, तो कहता है हमने जवाब दे दिया ना, जवान है ना, जवाब हमारा जवान is our answer to hate politics. अब आप ये बताइए, जो मतलब एक तरफ जो है दे आर ओनिंग शाहरुख खान. देखिए साहब, इसके पहले जवान, उसके पहले क्या है वो पठान, और माशाल्लाह अभी वो टाइगर पार्ट 3 आ रहा है. तो ये क्या है, मतलब ये कोई डिवाइड हो रही है बॉलीवुड में, क्या है मतलब? आई दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग नेवर यूज्ड टू टेक प्लेस अर्लियर. बाय द वे, जो पड़ोसन की आपने बात करी, मैं आपको बता दूं, दत्त साहब जो थे बड़े अच्छे मित्र थे हमारे, and he always used to, by the way, till the end, he would never refer to Saira Bano as Saira Banu ji. He would always call her Mrs. Dilip Kumar. He was from that kind of a generation. So I'm saying, will we get the old days back in a way where everybody will respect each other, or do you think this divide has come to stay? Suresh Menon sir.
The divide in the industry has been there for a long time, where I have seen that one man's film, or one hero's super hit film is another man's flop. So the inter-bitching that used to be happening in between the industry itself, within the industry itself, is the first poison that they have to take out, and then start addressing other issues. So if that poison is taken out, thankfully now they're seemingly united right now. And if they maintain that front, there is no reason where they can start respecting each other. If you look at the older generation of actors, they still do respect each other. Of course, they were all at loggerheads at one point of time. There were ego clashes between Shatru Saab, Bachchan Saab, everything. We have heard about it. But the kind of respect that they have for each other, if the younger generation could also follow that. Now they seemingly they are following it. I think
hopefully.
Amitabh Bachchan ji had a great sense of timing where comedy is concerned. People used to love his comedy. The kind of facial expressions and the timing was absolutely superb. Whatever you call him, an action hero, but his comedy was equally good. Now you are a great Shah Rukh Khan fan. Salman Khan has a very good timing where comedy is concerned. How do you rate Amitabh's comedy with Shah Rukh Khan's kind of humor and Salman Khan's?
I think for our generation, Mr. Bachchan will always be our favorite first superstar. Not forgetting Rajesh Khanna Saab. Arey Rajesh Khanna Sahab re, So without forgetting Rajesh Khanna Sahab, Bachchan sir will always remain our superstar, and there is no substitution for him. Whether you like it or not, today even the youngsters, the generation Z, as they call them, they are all Amitabh Bachchan fans. So it's like they are there, but if you have to reach that level of Amitabh Bachchan stardom, you need something extra, and you need that baritone voice, of course. And as you rightly said, his comic timing is quite amazing, and you can see how beautifully he uses that at times in his quiz show. So respect, and like I'm really sad that Mr. Bachchan doesn't allow us people like us who are very good in changing our characters to dress up like him anymore or even talk like him.
Ji.
But like I told one, somebody asked me, I said, when you wear that costume dressed up like Mr. Bachchan with his wig, with his specs, you feel like for a moment you are Mr. Bachchan, you know, and then you were,
जी
"आज खुश तो तुम बहुत हो गए, हैं?" वो
Isn't
मैं
that
उस
wonderful? वो तो खैर आपने बड़ा सीरियस डायलॉग बोल दिया कि आज खुश तो बड़े बहुत हो गए तुम, लेकिन जो प्रदीप जी ने बात करी, आप हर फिल्म में उनकी देख लीजिए जहां पर जरा भी कॉमेडी आती है, I think Mr. Bachchan is brilliant, absolutely brilliant at that. There's nobody even to touch him there. He's fantastic. I mean, Dharmender Saab had his own style of comedy, but Mr. Bachchan, oh God, he is absolutely out of the world. Shatrughan Sinha Saab, I don't think could do comedy very well, very frankly speaking. I don't think Mr. Sinha is going to like this, but he couldn't. You know, but लेकिन आज की जनरेशन में, फॉर एग्जांपल, आज की जनरेशन में अभी के जो एक्टर्स हैं, आप एक शाहरुख खान को जरा छोड़ दें, because शाहरुख खान इज योर फेवरेट एक्टर, उनके अलावा अब I mean, my own favorite film is Chennai Express. You look at that film, it's out of the world, it's fantastic. But अभी की जनरेशन में जो फिल्म स्टार्स हैं, उनमें all round टैलेंट किसके पास है आपके मुताबिक, सुरेश मेनन?
They don't make them like Govinda anymore. Sadly. So seriously, there's everyone has got a specific thing to do. Like earlier, there used to be Sanjeev Kumar Saab, who could do every role possible.
Yes.
Of course, you know, and Govinda ji, every role possible, anything that he threw at him, it used to come back so beautifully done. Today's actors are more focused on their bodybuilding. They're more focused on their protein shakes and
and six packs.
And six packs. So yeah, if you have them, you show them. And but you know, like when we do mimicry, we picked up actors with charisma, style, and voice modulation. Shatru Saab, you know, Sunny Deol Saab, Dharmender Saab, everyone's voice and style.
And everybody's favorite, Rajkumar.
Yeah, that power is missing. You know,
Ji.
that sound is missing from the heroes today. We're still waiting for that one more baritone voice to come here, one more really powerful voice to come through.
But none of these guys have it, right? All the new guys. You look at Ranbir Kapoor, you look at Ranveer Singh, you look at Vicky Kaushal, you look at Ayushmann Khurrana, you look at all these guys. None of them have that star quality or that voice. Why is that? Why is the new generation, why do they have these squeaky voices? What's happened?
Yeah, absolutely right. Because yeah, you know, it's like when you do mimicry, you know, you latch on to voices which ring in your head. So these voices really don't come and ring in your head at times. You know, so Ranbir Kapoor, there are very few people who I am Ranbir Kapoor. You know, but there's nothing to match them. So I don't know, maybe it's a diet that you're following or there's something wrong in the air. But I'm sure there'll be one more.
Or they never allowed their voice to mature. Like for example, if you remember, in medieval Europe, you know, little boys had to go through a particular operation so that their voices remained exactly what they were, so that they could sing in the choir. Do you think something like that has happened to these guys?
Oh God.
I didn't say it. I did not say it. All right. I'm not saying anything.
Something they consume to. I mean, to keep him.
Yeah. You look at. I'm saying. You know what I'm saying is, माशाल्लाह देखें, रणवीर सिंह साहब ने बाजीराव का रोल किया है. बाजीराव बलाल भट्ट, अलाउद्दीन खिलजी, और जो आवाज निकलती है वो तो मतलब बॉय नेक्स्ट डोर की है. मतलब वो तो क्या है, मतलब कुछ.
See, also फिल्म के जो लैंग्वेज चेंज हुई है, फिल्म के लिए जो प्रेपरेशन हुआ करती थी वो सब सारी चीजें चेंज हुई है. You know, so unfortunately earlier whatever said and done, there used to be rehearsals happening. Here also that they do a lot of reading and all that stuff in modern times, as they call it. But voice modulation is an art which not many of them have.
So who's your favorite actor in terms of voice? There is Mr. Bachchan.
Voice. In today's voice, it's still Mr. Bachchan.
Yes.
And of course, the Southern stars, they have done well. They maintained.
So can we hear something of Mr. Bachchan from you?
रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप होते हैं, नाम है शहंशाह। आजकल के सब बच्चों के सामने मैं आज भी शहंशाह हूँ। आगे कोई नहीं आएगा, ना पीछे कोई रहेगा, बस मैं हूँ।
And Mr. Shatrughan, one second. And Mr. Shatrughan Sinha.
ओ बच्चे तो बच्चे रहेंगे, लेकिन मुझे उनके साथ नहीं खेलना है जिनकी आवाज नहीं है, जिनकी जवाब नहीं है, कोई दिखने में भी ठीक नहीं है।
And Mr. Dilip Kumar. I'm sure you love Mr. Dilip Kumar too.
ये जो आजकल के बच्चे हैं, देखिए गौर फरमाइएगा, कुछ नहीं कहते हैं, अपनी जुबान से आवाज नहीं निकाल सकते। अरे भाई कोई है, मैनली वॉइस वाला कोई है?
Mr. Menon, inspiration. This is comedy. Any dialogue that served as an inspiration, like to many Rajesh Khanna's that "Bahu Mashai Zindagi aur Maut Upar Wale," that is one inspiration for many people. And for budding some of the builders and real estate giants we met, they were inspired by the Trishul dialogue of Amitabh Bachchan. Where he's saying, Mr. Gupta, 5 lakh jeb mein nahi hai aur 5 lakh ka sauda. You have any kind of inspiration, that this dialogue inspires me, eternally.
I just still love the saying from Shahenshah. I use it because when new comedians come, a lot of people ask me, "Ab kya hoga?" and all. I just tell them, "Rishte mein to hum tumhare baap hote hain. Naam hai Shahenshah." So I use that dialogue is very important for me because I still feel like a Shahenshah. I still feel that a lot more to contribute in the acting industry, and the field opportunities have become less, but it's for me to drag it out and start doing something more.
No, hold it, wait. The fact is that even at that time, there's one guy who always used to get ignored. Even though he's given hell of a lot of hits, both as an actor and as a producer director. That is Feroz Khan. लेकिन एक ज़माने में फिरोज खान साहब की भी मिमिक्री किया करते थे लोग जबरदस्त तरीके से. You remember anything of him?
I remember Javed Jafri imitating him very well in I think Tararampam.
Yes.
Well, I don't like this. But the way Feroz Khan Saab used to speak, my God. I think Feroz Khan Saab was a style icon, and if today, like even style, there is no one. There's a Jackie Shroff, there is to be Feroz Khan Saab, and then there is no one. Then there are only clowns.
Then there are only clowns.
Absolutely. There were so many mimicry actors, especially from Kerala. You had Jairam, you had Dilip and all, who made it so well where the industry, Kerala, Malayalam industry was concerned. So how do you see the mimicry artists becoming good performers, good actors? We have a lot of examples of them.
Yeah, Jairam is a classic example. In fact, Jairam sir started doing, I still remember Kamala Hassan's film where he had done a small bit that you incorporated his mimicry in a scene, which he did so well. And then, of course, they used to have these mimicry parades. They made movies with them. It was so funny. Innocent sir, I took a lot of inspiration from Innocent sir also when doing comedy in the Hindi films. So
perfect. That was perfect to stay innocent.
Yeah. So I think that in Hindi also we tried a lot, especially under the able leadership of Sunil Pal, Rajesh Srivastava ji, and that whole gang. We did try to do something different, like make a mimics parade sort of a film where Bombay to Goa Part 2 was made by with all these actors involved in it. But unfortunately, there were not many takers. But it was a great attempt, and I think we should still try once more.
Yes, and I think Sunil Pal made a lovely film, taking all the comics, including Kapil Sharma, including Raju Srivastava, including everybody else. What do you think of Kapil Sharma? Now that's the elephant in the room. Let's talk about that, because he's the guy who's actually monopolized comedy and made it into his own brand. Not only has he made it into his own brand, he's become a billionaire from that brand.
I'm really happy for Kapil because the way he has struggled. In fact, the thing is, we were doing a show on Star One called the Great Indian Comedy Show.
Yes.
At that time, they had this show called the Great Indian Laughter Challenge.
Yes.
Kapil Sharma was one of the contestants in one season, and the way he has grown is really admirable. But it's on TV channels also to realize that this is not the only way to project comedy. This is not the only way to do it. So there is a lot of space for doing comedy. But unfortunately, when you go and pitch shows to them, the first thing that comes, oh, we need comedians who are influencers, who got this sort of following and all that stuff. So that is, I really can't understand what Instagram followers or YouTube followers has to do with comedy. So I'm not able to understand that little bit
And we don't even know whether those Instagram followers are real or not, or whether they're just bots.
absolutely right. But they're very happy. They're very happy with it.
But I'll tell you what, sticking still to Kapil Sharma, I'm so sorry. Kapil's a great guy. He came on our show and I couldn't keep the tears out of my eyes. He made me laugh so much. You know, especially वो जो क्या वो हवलदार के बारे में जो करता है ना वो
पंजाब पुलिस
और वो रिचर्ड गेयर को बुला करके हे तुमने पप्पी कैसे लिया शिल्पा शेट्टी का and all that that's a great thing. But I tell you what, there is a lot of I saw a couple of shots of Kapil Sharma's show. It's a bit of a misogynistic show in the sense that you know he insults women, talks about them in a particular manner, and I agreed. All the women on the show are all guys dressed as women, most of them at least, except a few. So what do you think of that? I mean, is that all right to keep insulting women all the time, to crack these sexist jokes which are completely anti-women, which used to be told in all the street corners of North India, not so much in the South? Absolutely. You know, the South has always respected women, has always had a great deal of respect over there. But in the North, especially in Haryana and in Punjab and in UP, it's been terrible. So don't you think that is feeding into that kind of anti-woman, misogyny? Mr. Menon.
So I feel, see, there were a lot of humor earlier was about Jorus. Joru ke Gulam, hum log ne suna hai. So it used to work on that platform a lot, and also the jokes. I always feel that today to change, you need to change with times. So it can always be the woman giving it back to the guys. I know that's where the writing comes in. But unfortunately, what has happened is everyone goes with what is working. If the numbers are good, if the TRP is working, so nobody wants to, as you rightly address, that's the elephant in the room, but nobody wants to touch it.
So in effect, what you're really saying is, most people become prisoners of their own success. Exactly what happened to Mr. Bachchan towards the end of his career as the angry young man. So which is why he had to reinvent himself, so to speak.
So, and it's very easy to do. Today, instead of cracking, I used to crack a lot of jokes on my wife earlier on my stand-up comedy, but now I reversed it by making my wife being a stronger person than me.
Can we have a bit of a sample of that, if you don't mind?
So, like somebody asked me, "Are you scared of your wife?" I said, "No, I'm not scared of her at all. I'm just terrified."
And what else? That's fine, but what else?
Oh, a lot of things. I recently said that I love my wife so much that she's the only person in my life who doesn't make me miss my parents at all. She's so good. So people said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah." Because whenever I go out, I get a call. Where are you? Who are you with? Don't talk to that girl. Come back home soon. Be on time. Don't stay out late. Don't drink too much. Don't play around. So all those things. See, only wives can do that. Correct?
At least you get a message. Don't drink too much. I get a message. Don't drink at all. How dare you drink? And even if I have a glass of whiskey in my hand, I say, are you nuts? I am a teetotaler. I don't drink at all. What are you talking about? No, but really, all that I'm trying to say is that, do you miss the writing? At one time it used to be brilliant, and after that I have one more question, then we'll let you go. The writing at one time used to be absolutely brilliant for all these television shows and for stand-up. Now that has become slightly jaded. You do have a couple of guys. You have that, what's that boy's name? That Grover. He's okay, good boy. Then there's another chap whose name I always forget. Rahman Khan, I think his name is. He's another one, and so on. But and he cracks jokes, especially about Muslims and about the Pakistani connection, where he says कि यार मतलब हिंदुस्तान जीतेगा तो मैं भी जीतूंगा ना, मतलब that kind of stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, do you miss that kind of brilliant writing that used to be there earlier in the earlier movies, where just a play of verbiage you used to get you the laughs that you require?
Yes, today, unfortunately, even the writers, the experienced writers, the really funny writers, Yunus Sejwal, Rumi Jafri, Arshad Sayed, all these writers, somehow they have the instructions that come is कि आज का कुछ लिखो, बच्चों को अट्रैक्ट करना है यहाँ पे, तो उस ह्यूमर में चले जाओगे तो नहीं होगा. कादर खान साहब and Govinda and Shakti Kapoor Saab, the way the humor used to fly, simple things. I think if you keep it simple, even today, like किराने वाले के वहां पे जाके जो कॉन्वर्सेशंस हुआ करते थे कादर खान साहब एंड असरानी साहब के, brilliant. Even now you can watch it and laugh, and it's not only me who's laughing, but if you show it to youngsters, the Gen Z, even they burst out laughing.
And it's for the whole family.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep it simple. Keep it simple. Go back to your roots and start writing for the common people who are a majority. हाँ, हाथ में सेल फोन हो गया तो सेल फोन के ऊपर जोक्स मार सकते हैं. तो ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं.
Let's hear a cell phone joke. Let's hear a cell phone joke.
Oh my God, cell phone joke. I mean, I think we are all addicts to this instrument, and there's no way it's become an appendage. So इसके ऊपर जोक मारना भी डर लगता है, because पता नहीं कि कुछ सुन लिया तो बाहर चला जाएगा.
Along with Govinda, Shakti Kapoor, Kader Khan, you talked about, and there was some element of Johnny Lever in that also in some
Most
movies.
important.
That was making Johnny Lever also made a lot of interesting. You know, the bhais and bhai kaun sa bank hai, ye bhai log ka bank hai, all this kind of.
So
what do you think of Johnny Lever?
Oh my God! Wow, what an amazing person. I feel that guy is a true legend, and from where he has come and where he has reached, and his supreme humbleness and the way he greets people and talks to them is something that you meet him, it's automatically you just do a pranam to him, because such a wonderful person, and the humor that comes out from him is something absolutely crazy and brilliant. And even today, that sort of energy, that sort of happiness to see us and talk to us, and we both talk a lot about mimicry. So Johnny bhai always used to say, मैं आवाज से ज्यादा उनका स्टाइल पकड़ता रहा, walking.
Correct, exactly. Exactly.
And that was so much of joy, So that.
All right, one final question. There's so much of joy in Johnny Lever. That's what you said. And Johnny Lever is also a great prankster. But then this show will go on. It will not stop. We can continue talking about this for the next 5 days, and we'll still not exhaust ourselves. But Mr. Menon, you talked about guys who don't have a baritone voice. You had a couple of people. Om Puri Saab, he has just left us. And then, of course, there is Nasiruddin Shah. You still have guys like that. What do you think of Nasir Saab's voice and Om Saab's voice?
Om Saab, I think I've worked with him, and I've seen him at close quarters for this film called Full and Final. It's amazing with that serious face, the sense of humor that he had, and he was really going through a rough time those days, I remember, but it was so funny. And I'm talking off camera, so there are a lot of conversation. We used to just talk normal things, and there's to be a lot of laughter. That laughter that was created was amazing. And these are all experiences, छोटी-छोटी चीजें, गेहूं के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं या दाल चावल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, छोटी-छोटी चीजें. Unfortunately, I don't remember, but I spent some really good time with him during shootings. And of course, the other big baritone voice, we can't forget Amrish Puri ji. There's no villain with that sort of voice today.
We don't have that kind of voice at the moment, yes. What about Nasiruddin Shah?
लाख गुनाह है, हजार गुनाह है.
क्या बात है.
So Nasir bhai is, of course, everyone knows him. I think brilliant actor, but yeah.
But what? Go on. Come on.
No,
we are a free show. We allow everybody to talk. We don't censor people. Go on.
No, Nasir bhai is, I think somehow I whenever I see him nowadays, I feel that he's disconnected from the craft and little away from it, or maybe he's tired, but his brilliance we have seen in earlier times, or maybe somebody has to go to him with a really good script to really make him feel young again.
Oh yes, or maybe he's missing Om Puri.
100%. That's sort
they
of
were inseparable.
Yeah, they were, and maybe he should just start working with good actors.
Yes, and by the way, just for the information of our viewers, क्योंकि Om Puri साहब की बात आई है, by the way, Om Puri is the man from the Hindi film industry who's acted in the maximum number of Hollywood films. सबसे ज़्यादा Hollywood film Om Puri साहब ने करी है. And Nasiruddin Shah, by the way, remains the only Bollywood actor who had his name above the title, along with Sean Connery in a movie, in a Hollywood movie. I mean,
Yes.
that's amazing. These guys have achieved so much. And when they came into the industry, Shabana Azmi said, तुम इतने बदसूरत लोगों की हिम्मत कैसे हुई कि तुम्हें लगा कि तुम एक्टर बन सकते हो. That's what Nasiruddin Shah himself recalls.
Yes, see, thankfully times have changed as we discussed earlier,
Yes.
and it's about personality, and it's about power in
Right.
one's performance. It's about your physical attributes, and of course the training with which all these actors have come.
And these guys didn't have a six-pack.
Absolutely,
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No necessity. That power is there in the word. Like Nana
Sean
Patekar-
Connery, Nasiruddin Shah in a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes, yes.
Oof.
Ego.
Great movie. Suresh Menon, it's been a real pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. Real pleasure. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
And to Mr. Nambiar, I'll say, Veendum Kanam.
It's so kind of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Menon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you for having me
Namaskar.
on the show.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram.
That was really and truly enjoyable.
Yes.
Very enjoyable.
Fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And then one could continue talking to him.
Exactly.
And so on and so forth.
Continuously. At least for another hour. And then
Pradeep,
interesting every
our will be too late. Because once he gets started off on various things, he'll never